The story begins, where we see fallen heroes. Someone says that a mere human making it to this point was impressive. This person was the Demon Lord rank 7th, Farza. Our boy of this story, Han Jai-woo, isn't phased though. He uses the 12th form of the Empirical Sword, ready to send this bastard demon to hell. But out of nowhere he gets a notification. He's been disconnected from the server. Bro died because he got disconnected, ultimately failing the quest to defeat Demon Lord Farza. Back in the real world, our boy's friends wanted to wake him up, but he accidentally unplugged the system like an idiot. Jae-woo grabs him by the shirt, about to beat the hell out of him. He was so close to beating the Demon Lord. We then get an introduction on our boy. Turns out, this dude actually used to be popular before becoming a gaming addict. He was Hanum's problem solver, Hanum's brain, Hanum's money goblin. He used to have a great life, but then he realized how meaningless all the things he had been obsessed with was. The VR game, savior of humanity. This place is what changed him. It was a single-player RPG with a giant open world. For our boy, who had never even read a comic, this world was magical. Not to mention there were beautiful characters of various species. Booty was the only reason bro wanted to live in this world. Long story short, he borrowed some money to buy a game capsule worth $1 billion. The dude on the floor was the one who invested money so our boy could get into the game, saying that he shouldn't be getting treated like this. But Jae-woo knows. One of the dudes went golfing behind his wife's back, another had 2 jobs behind the company's back, and this Chad who was caught simping for VTubers. But hearing this, one of the dudes tell Jae-woo that he still owed $1 billion. This was honestly bad. His whole plan to pay back the money was to write a walkthrough guide for other players. But while making the guide, he had gone completely broke in the process. But he can't give up. He hasn't seen the ending of this game yet, the true ending that no one has yet to reach. Our boy tells the dudes to get out. Workday was over. He instantly turns around and loads into the game, spawning in a place named Bayern Cathedral. His nickname in this world was Elector Steel. When he sees he has a 22-hour penalty for disconnecting, he loses it. How was he supposed to make money then? Right then, a voice says that our boy looked like he was struggling with something. She introduces herself as Aquila. She was the game master. Our boy seriously doubts it. How could a mere kid be the master of this legendary game? At that moment, she snaps her fingers, making time stop. This was at least a SSS class skill, but she quickly explains herself, saying that it wasn't a skill. She simply shut down the server for a bit. But anyway, she came up with a new event for the 7th anniversary, and asks if he wants to hear about it. She asks Jae-woo to be the first to clear the game in a new world as a new character, but our boy can't. He hasn't even cleared the game as this character yet. There's no way he would be able to. That's when she says that the reward will be $25 billion. This gets our boy rock hard. And besides, doesn't he want to see the true ending? It might exist. He might find the clue to reaching the true ending. Just as Jae-woo is about to touch the object, she stops him, saying that if he tries it right now, he will get a free gift. Moments later, he gets a notification saying that he has been sent $30 million. We see the leaderboard and our boy is number 1. With this money, it wouldn't even matter if he manages to clear the game. He'll even be safe for this month's interest payment. He accepts Aquila's offer, saying that only an idiot would say no to this. She tells Jae-woo that she knew he would say yes. He was a top player after all. In the next moment, Aquila begins installing, as the world around them begin to shift, as they were now in an unknown place with a single door. Aquila tells our boy that that door will lead to the new world. The game will start as soon as he walks through that door. Without hesitation, he opens the doors, warning Aquila that she better not forget the $25 billion she promised him. But just as he enters, Aquila says that she forgot to tell him one thing. If his character dies in this event, he will die in real life too. Yay, good to know. Thanks for telling me when I'm going in. I mean, this is all our reactions. In the next second, he's falling through the air hitting the ground. Something was off. Why did it hurt when he fell? He was in a game. Was that girl really serious? But our boy isn't a loser. He's gonna absolutely dominate, as the former Elector Steel. Shortly after, he's dehydrated as frick. He opens his status window. The character Aquila gave our boy was trash. He had only 20 max HP and a mere 3 mana. How the hell was he supposed to get the true ending with this trash character? But just then, he hears a drop of water, and there was a river with more than enough water. He drinks the water, regaining his missing HP, but out of nowhere, he's distracted by some buns. He gets a notification saying he lost 1 HP because he got too excited. He tries to get a closer look, but is blocked, saying that he has to pay for the DLC to see. Right then, 4 women show up behind our boy, saying that he needs the DLC to see what happens next. Jae-woo thinks he's getting a harem, but moments later is just thrown on his head. The woman called Jae-woo a pervert, telling him to stay still. A man nearby asks our boy if he was okay. He introduces himself as Rude. He was a monster hunter. He ended up coming near the witch's forest while chasing his prey. Jae-woo isn't paying attention though. There was a knife just inches away from him. He says that he has a way to get out of this. He was the one who wrote how to defeat these witches after all. It took our boy 3 whole days to be fair. They were the 5 witches of Havel. Their names are Gunda, Kaldura, Aldaida, Fugul, and Heijuju. Even though they're early game bosses that players have to get past, thousands have died to them. But if you look closer, they're a pretty unorganized group. He already has a devious plan. He tells Fugul that he's surprised she's still alive. He heard Heijuju saying that she will kill her. Fugul falls for Jae-woo rage bait. We get a fun fact. Fugul hates Heijuju. He heard that Heijuju said that she was going to kill her and take all her assets. Fugul confronts her asking if this was true, and turns out Heijuju secretly did want to take Fugul's assets. Alda realizes that that was why Heijuju was making an acid bomb. Gunda is just hungry. Fun fact, she has a very big appetite. And lastly, Kaldura just wants to see a fight. They start arguing like crazy amongst each other. It was all going as Jae-woo planned. Some people might think that they work as a team due to their title, but these witches don't have any teamwork at all. People fight the witches without knowing this. That's why they managed to kill thousands. It was so easy to make them fight each other. With this, he tells Rude that this was their chance to get the hell out of here. But on second thought, he's gonna capture them and put them into a boiling pot. He tells Rude that the exit wasn't far. These witches were idiots. Still, they do give a lot of XP, but in the next moment, Fugul's snake grabbed Jae-woo by the leg, exclaiming that he won't escape. The snake brings our boy to the ground, but he can't do anything. His character was too weak. Suddenly, Rude pulls out his sword and slices the snake in half. Jae-woo thanks him. At the same time, he asks if he could borrow Rude's bow. Rude's bow had an attack of 15 and range of 30. Our boy was experienced with the bow. He shoots an arrow aiming for a jar above the witches. It hits. This is not good. He just shot the acid bomb she made. Green ooze was flying everywhere. As soon as it makes contact, it blows up the whole area, and we see that literally nothing remains. They defeated the witches and obtained a total of 3,237 experience points and 5,000 achievement points. He admits that he got pretty lucky even at a low level. All he has to do now was to get that. Rude then thanks Jae-woo for saving him. He thought he was a goner, although it wasn't much. He hopes accept this as a gift of gratitude. This was totally unexpected. This was red dragon fruit. Our boy doesn't remember this happening in his previous playthroughs. Rude admits that he snatched them from the witch's nest because it looked valuable, but Jae-woo doesn't care and gobbles down the whole bag. He goes Super Saiyan, as his stats increase substantially. In the next moment, Rude asks Jae-woo if he is interested in monster hunting. There's a slight moment of pause before he gulps down the dragon fruit. He's thankful for the offer, but he's got things to do. But when he thinks about it, this was low-key a good opportunity. He doesn't have a class, so all the massive experience has nowhere to go. It'll disappear in a month if he just leaves it. He asked if 3 months will be enough. Before long, Rude tells Jae-woo to hide anywhere in the forest. He will come after him in 30 minutes. Jae-woo realizes that Rude has a monster tracking skill from the hunter skill tree. He was making quick progress. But even so, he's underestimating our boy. He explodes off, saying that he's explored this forest countless times. He remembers everything down to the smallest twig, the dense trees that throw off your sense of direction, these poison spores from the toxic mushrooms, and ferocious beasts even more dangerous than witches. He knows it all. Plus, with the red dragon fruit, his physical abilities were nearly maxed out. There's no chance Rude will find him. But, yay, not even a second later, Rude finds him. Jae-woo wants to know how the heck he found him. Rude says that it's been a while since he's had a student this fun to teach, and tells Jae-woo that they should give it their best shot. Jae-woo completes that hunter hazing quest, and gets a new quest, Hunter's Trial. He also gets various upgrades. He receives the Monster Hunter class, the Herbalism skill, Intermediate Swordsmanship, Survivalism, and Musket Shooting. He was loaded. 3 months later, Jae-woo tells Rude that he has mastered everything. If he doesn't believe him, he should try hiding and he'll find him. He agrees to hide, but if he doesn't find him within an hour, he's making dinner. Jae-woo says, of course he will. He's looking forward to it. Shortly after, Rudd is glad he's met a great apprentice. He shouldn't make it too hard for him, saying that if he hides by a cliff, Jae-woo won't find him in an hour. But little does he know, Jae-woo grabs Rudd's leg and scares the hell out of him. This was crazy. It's only been 3 months, and Jae-woo has already mastered the skills he spent 5 years learning. But there was no chance he would come all the way here, right? This was the Hellhound's nest after all. But it's too easy for Jae-woo, and he finds Rudd in a flash. Rudd tells him that he passes, saying that he can't believe he mastered these skills in just 3 months. Jae-woo says that it was all thanks to Rudd, but really, All he did was level up all his stats using the XP he gained from defeating the witches. Rud then asks our boy what his plan was now. Of course Jaewoo wants to make money. Rud says that this was perfect. He has a close friend who was working as a mercenary. This was a great proposal too. Mercenary work is amazing for early income. Most importantly, it's free and flexible, and if he's lucky, he might even get to meet the guardians of this game. He quickly shakes Rud's hand, saying that he will do it. Rud hands Jaewoo his old mercenary badge. With this, his friend will recognize him instantly. Jaewoo thanks Rud. He defeated the witches and even gained a class. This was a great start. At this rate, the true ending might not be out of reach. He then remembers Aquila telling him that the true ending might exist, or a clue about the true ending. You never know when you'll die, that's the thrill of this game. He refuses to log out. Slapping himself, he tells Aquila to wait for him. He was going to reach the true ending. We see that the Hunter's trial quest was no completed, and we get a new quest, join the Mercenary Guild. Meanwhile, Aquila is dying laughing, watching how our boy was fighting the witches. She's glad she kept an eye on him. Behind Aquila, someone asks Aquila if that was him. He definitely wasn't an ordinary guy. Her name was Valfurga. Aquila asks if she's into Jaewoo, but she simply says that she was a god. Why would she look at a human she was supposed to protect in that way? Valfurga gives Aquila a serious glare. Aquila says that she's too serious. She used to be more fun back in the day. That's when Valfurga asks if she really repaid our boy's debt. Aquila tells her that she did ages ago, so Jaewoo was working to repay his debt without knowing it has already been paid off. She tells Aquila that she was ruthless, but Aquila just finds this entertaining. Valfurga wants to know if this one was part of Aquila's plan, or just a plaything. Aquila says that he was more like a promising talent. She's going to keep watching him. We cut to Jaewoo, who is exhausted. With this body, he made it out the forest in just half a day, and the mercenary corps was right in front of him. In the next moment, maids welcome our boy to the Francois Tavern and asks what they could help him with. He's distracted but says that he's here looking for someone. As expected, the tavern is the classic spot for intel gathering. Drinks, lively folks, and the amazing smell of food. If any place could get him info on the mercenary corps, it's this one. And above all, the waitresses were baddies. Jaewoo asks if they happen to know somebody by the name of Rebes Chaltz. There's a sudden shift in the atmosphere. One of the girls, shaking, tells Jaewoo that that name is forbidden here. The other girl says that her boyfriend got involved with him once, and he came back a mummy. The other people here have also suffered because of him. Just what type of person did Rude introduce him to? The girl quickly pushes Jaewoo, saying that he must go since he will be here soon. His face makes contact with straight muscle. This dude was Rebes Chaltz. He notices the mercenary badge on Jaewoo and is pretty sure that this was Rude's mercenary badge, so he must be that guy. He says that this was perfect. He was looking for a battle slave. What the actual heck did this dude say? Who the hell did Rude introduce him to? After that, although Jaewoo feels like he's getting recruited in some type of army, this was actually a good opportunity. Rebes tells our boy that his job is to be dragged into the war between the Prince Elector and the forces of Pezamut. The Prince Elector is a guardian of this game, one of the electors of Pultz. Meeting him, he might be able to get information on the other guardians. Just then, someone blows a horn. Reeb says that he was coming. This was different from what our boy expected. Was that the current Prince Elector? He looked more like a villain. Suddenly, Jaewoo didn't expect to see her here. Dame Valpurgis was here. The Prince Elector glances at Valpurgis and asks if something was wrong. It looked like she was distracted, but she quickly says that she was fine. The battlefield awaits them after all. Valpurgis was Jaewoo's companion in his previous playthroughs, but he couldn't save her in any of them. It always ended the same way. This time, even if he has to risk his life, he will reach an ending where she lives. Before long, people are sparring, while our boy notices that this was pretty intense for training. This was the training grounds of Rebei's mercenary corps. This was perfect timing. They're selecting group leaders through sparring matches. There's also money on the line, pride and cash. But all our boy needs is to make contact with the Prince Elector. He should stay quiet for now. But Reebs wants Jaewoo to participate, saying that there is no way Rude would send someone clueless to him. He asks if anyone wants to spar with the newbie. They all get rock hard at the sight of fresh meat. I guess our boy's opinion doesn't matter. Face to face with his opponent. His name was Max. Max asks Jaewoo what was up with his twig body. He could get snapped in half with just one hit. Reebs oversees the match and tells them to begin. Without hesitation, Max rushes in, but all we see is a sword spinning in the air. People shocked, and Max was on the floor. The people go crazy. How the hell did he finish Max in just one blow? But this was to be expected. After eating the red dragon fruits, his strength is on par with an ogre now. The people are now excited about this newbie, and wants to have part in this fun. One after another, he destroys them, gaining plus 15 fame for each one. Watching this, someone gets frustrated saying how could they all lose to some newbie? This was mercenary Charlotte. But what was up with this dude's size? Is he even human? Jaewoo knows that this was too much to handle. He looks for the logout button. but it denies him. It was Aquila's fault again. The dude gets ready to strike Jaewoo, he was cursed. But since it's come down to this, he has no choice. He grabs the dude's arm, grabbing him by the shirt and slamming him into the ground. He was knocked out, and Jaewoo gained plus 30 fame for defeating Charlotte. The guy next to Reebs asks where the hell he found this guy. The other people surround Jaewoo, amazed that he defeated Charlotte. He was built like a twig but had crazy power. They want to fight Jaewoo too. That's when Reebs tells everyone to move aside. Could it be that Reebs is caring for him because Jaewoo was his friend's apprentice? Yay no. He chooses Jaewoo as the new group leader. Valor stood valor. Before long, our boy was leading the mercenaries as the new group leader. There were hundreds of allies and foes. They charged towards the ogres. Right now, they were aligned with the Prince Elector's forces. We flash back to Reebs saying that they were in a direct standoff against the orc army of the Demon King, the Pesamut. Their mission was simple: steal the enemy commander's military flag. The plan was, when their forces break through the enemy's formation, they squeeze through the gap and completely destroy their lines. But he warns them that these are the proud orcs. They're not only strong, but their coordination is the best on the continent. Now as for the Valorstad Valor, it's his job as group leader to stop them. What? His job as a group leader? This was ridiculous. He was just planning on snagging some military merit and run away, gosh dang it. At the same time, the orcs tell their captain that their spearmen were falling apart. He doesn't believe that his elite spearmen were falling, so he snatches the binoculars out of the orcs' hands and looks off at the distance, but what he sees is a group of chopped dudes. He orders his orcs to line up the musket rifles and fire. They block the shots. Our boy isn't bothered though. Muskets were pathetic. Don't they know what K2 is? Without rapid fire, muskets have to rotate firing ranks. The leader orders the second rank to prepare fire, and that's exactly when Jaewoo rushes in. And so does his squad. The leader can't believe this. All of his men were falling to that twig. He absolutely can't let them take this flag. This flag carries the proud history of their tribe, but Jaewoo was already just inches away from him. Moments later, they were the victors. He got the military flag and got plus 30 leadership for it. He just needs to hold on a little longer, and the military merit is his. A horn blows. One of the dudes tell Jaewoo that there was bad news. Their allies were retreating, and the orc reinforcements were already right in front of them. Why the hell did their allies run? Victory was in reach. The dude asks if they should just throw the flag and run away, but our boy quickly turns that down. But realistically, what could they do? They were already surrounded. One tells Jaewoo that it was over now. This was a hidden boss, Orc Grand General Kallian. He tells Jaewoo and his men to give up and surrender. These were his proud elite soldiers. If he returns now and leave the flag behind, he will honor their bravery and spare their lives. Our boy says he isn't falling for his tricks, and warns if they come any closer, he will shove the flag in Charlotte's underwear. He was trying to intimidate Kallian. Kallian is a bit shook, but ultimately he tells his orcs to prepare to fire. He tells them to fire, hitting their flag in the process as the group tries to get away. Jaewoo's intimidation failed. In his previous playthroughs, the orcs never let go of their beloved flag so easily. Jaewoo looks over, and his boys were getting cooked. Jaewoo can't believe they actually brought out the Grand General. There's no way he could take on that monster with his current fame and rank. He's panicking. What can he even do right now? He then remembers his past and what Aquila told him. He snaps back into reality. One of the dudes tell Jaewoo that he needs to give orders right now, or they will be wiped out. Unexpectedly, he just bursts out laughing. He tells Charlotte to give him his horn, but Charlotte tells him there's no point, since no reinforcements were coming anymore. Jaewoo just tells his big ass to watch. He blows the horn. The dude tells Jaewoo that he was going the wrong direction. Their allies weren't there. Our boy just tells him to shut up and block the bullets. And he says that now, he and Aquila were even. If she has any sense, she wouldn't abandon him right now. After all, he was a VIP. The orc leader tells his spearmen to push forward. The orc was face to face with our boy, the spear literally about to make contact. But something suddenly pierces the orc. A figure riding a horse flies above the orcs. It was Valpurgis, telling the men not to give up. With her entry, Kallian orders his orcs to stand down. This fight was between him and the Countess of Niederbayern. This is a noble duel. Valpurgis says that he is a true man and wastes no time lunging at Kallian. But they clash swords. Watching this, R can tell that they were evenly matched. Valpurgis was still so strong even though they were still on the early parts of the story. Just then, Valpurgis rises up, powering up a kick and striking Killian. It was just as Killian expected. Not only is her swordsmanship incredible, her hand-to-hand combat was also unbelievable. He says that she must be with the Sisterhood of Valfurga. If it's that kind of militant order, it makes sense. Valpurgis simply says she serves God with a sincere heart. She says that this fight has been dragged on for too long. She dashes. As they clash swords, Killian swings down, but Valpurgis is already above. He's sliced in an instant. Killian tells her that it was a good match, as he falls to his defeat. The orcs were to retreat since their captain has fallen. as per the noble duel. Our boy can't believe she just took out a powerful commander in a single strike. Dame Valpurgis, she was incredible. As the orcs leave the area, Valpurgis asks Jaewu if he was the leader of the mercenaries. She says she felt his courage from far away, introducing herself as Valpurgis. Our boy introduces himself as Valorstid Valor. He thanks her, saying that if she hadn't come, they would all be dead right now. But right now, he was no longer Elector Steel. He should have been more careful. Moments later, the boys hand Jaewu the orc's flag. He gets a notification saying that his credibility among the mercenary corps has increased. He remembers everything that happened just a few minutes ago. He can't believe it. He screams in excitement. This flag was now his. With that done, someone barges in a cavern yelling Charlotte's name. It was a little girl, asking if Charlotte was hurt anywhere. When our boy asked if that little girl was Charlotte's daughter, Rebus tells our boy that Charlotte doesn't have a daughter. He's only 15. That girl is Charlotte's younger sister, Baptiste. Baptiste shakes our boy violently, saying that he was the reason Charlotte got hurt. Charlotte nervously tells her that because of the group leader, they came back alive. The boys in the cavern agree, saying that if it wasn't for him, they would be all dead. Just then, Valpurgis walks in calling for the Valorstid Valor, now at Harfheim Forward Base. Valpurgis tells our boy that the Elector himself summoned him. She thinks he wants to reward him with military honors. She says that he should be happy. As a mercenary, this was the highest honor he could receive, but Valpurgis was acting different from the one he knows. She was a bit too happy. She then points towards a group of people, saying that if it wasn't for him, these people would have died as, well, they were citizens of the Empire and they're alive thanks to him. What other reason does she need to be happy? Our boy then gets flashbacks to when Valpurgis protected him. Countless of times. He realizes that Valpurgis hasn't changed, their relationship has. He's just a mercenary now. As they reach the tent, she says that she has brought Valorstid Valor. So he was the one they call Valor. The man says it's nice to meet him. He introduces himself as the Elector Steel. Philip, Jaewu shows his respects, saying that it was nice to meet him, as well. He can only think that being face-to-face with a true guardian, the pressure was overwhelming. Philip says his courage was amazing. He was like a brave lion. He says that a man of merit deserves recognition. He will award his comrades 100 florins and 300 florins to Jaewu. 100 florins was how much a spearman would get paid every year. Jaewu thanks Philip, but he has one request. He would like to regroup with his comrades and rest at Wittenbayer, which was 10 kilometers from Harfheim. Even though Wittenbayer was far, he grants the request, telling him to take a wagon and use any supplies he needs. Philip can feel that our boy wants something else. He would normally step back at this point. He glances over at Valpurgis. Philip tells Jaewu to ask his request, and he asks Sir Philip about his thoughts on this war. An awkward silence hangs in the air. As he expected, everyone is thrown off. It can't be helped though. He was just a lowly mercenary after all. Philip asks Jaewu what he thinks. Jaewu says that there was one thing that worries him. Hearing this, a man bursts out laughing, telling our boy not to think he's qualified enough to give the Elector advice, just because he earned one military merit. Another man agrees, saying that he probably picked up some scrap of information somewhere. Just then, Valpurgis tells Philip that he should try hearing him out. In response, another man says, "How dare a lowly countess speak?" Philip warns the man who was his uncle that she was the niece of the Elector of Bayern. He should show some respect. As expected of Valpurgis, even the Steel Elector can't ignore her. Philip tells Jaewu to continue, asking how he sees the war. He takes a deep breath, saying that there is an ambush coming for Philip. Philip says that a statement like that, he must have proof. Our boy says that the Demon King Pezimut's main strategies have always involved ambushes and betrayals, taking the war with the Kingdom of Toa 10 years ago, and the battle with Margrave Anhalt 6 years ago into account. He can deduce that in both battles, Pezimut's ambush tactics played a decisive role. With that said, he warns Philip that he must not overlook his other strategy betrayals either. Philip asks if he was suggesting that there was a traitor among them right now. Our boy says that it was a possibility. Philip shows an angry grin, telling our boy that he was quite bold. The only reason his head was still attached to his body was because he allowed it. He should know his place. When Valpurgis tries to speak up, Jaewu says that he understands, making Valpurgis refrain from speaking. He gets up, apologizing for overstepping, and takes his leave. Outside, he thinks that he was suspicious. In his previous attempts, the Elector Steel would have been more wise. This time, he seems very arrogant. Something was definitely different this time. First, the red dragon fruits, which normally appear much later. Then Valpurgis, who shouldn't have shown up yet. Everything was different from his countless past runs. Thinks of different possibilities, but is quickly interrupted. It was Valpurgis saying that she finally caught up with him. Jaewu asks if she ran here because she was worried about him. She tells him, of course, which makes him think she's cute. Nevertheless, she apologizes on behalf of Elector Philip for his words and actions. If there's anything else he wants, she will make it happen. Jaewu is really my twin, and is thinking about asking for some buns. imagining her in maid outfits, or a rich stepmother from a wealthy family. But he's got to lock in, and says that he wants a writing quill and pistol. She asks if this was seriously all he wanted. Our boy tells her it was. His dream is to become a cowboy. He's going to use this opportunity to learn how to ride a horse. But she asks why he was crying. He says that these were man's tears. But we all know that bro is crying inside for a different reason. Valpurgis accepts his request, grabbing his hand, making our boy blush. He was falling in love. Sometime later, the battle to reclaim Harfheim Hill, Elector Steel Philip versus Demon King Pezimut. Philip declares that today was the day that he finally kills Pezimut. Pezimut just wants him to stop talking because he could smell his breath from all the way over here. One of his subordinates tell him that the preparations were now complete, but the subordinate asks if he really intends to use that Hexax woman. She was cruel, but Pezimut tells him that Elector Steel will be a valuable hostage if they hand him over to her crazy ass. Speak of the devil. She was already here, walking over a few men. She pervertedly says that she was ready. He likes her attitude, but he asks her if she could go a little easy this time. Stepping on the men, she says that she never takes things too far. Bro calls bullshit right away, and says that she always takes things too far. She repeats herself, saying that she never takes things too far, giving them a chilling stare, leaving even Pezimut shook. Meanwhile, we see our boy riding a horse through the forest. This horse was just a spare, but it was amazingly fast. He thinks that it would definitely fit the lady of House Bayern, and she even gave him a potion that costs 1,000 florins. You could buy a whole building with that amount. Just then a loud explosion goes off behind him. So it already started. He says that even someone like Elector Steel wouldn't be able to handle this war, and he'll probably charge in like a fool. He will see that eventually, he will be betrayed. Philip questions his uncle. How could he commit such a betrayal and still call himself a knight of the empire? The uncle tells Philip that it seemed like he didn't understand his situation. He says that Philip planned to rebel against the emperor, and when the uncle realized this, he decided to cooperate with Pezimut to arrest Philip for treason as the Elector Steel. Does he understand now? Philip says that this was nonsense. No one would believe such a ridiculous lie, but that's when Pezimut stomps his foot on Philip's head, telling him to accept reality as he orders his men to tie him up. Philip tries to back away, crying and shaking in his boots. Out of nowhere, Valpurgis comes flying from behind Pezimut and kicks him straight in the face. Valpurgis quickly orders her men to escort Elector Steel out of here. With Valpurgis' men closing in on Pezimut, the uncle tells him that at this rate, Philip will get away. But Pezimut tells him not to worry. He tells Hexax that Philip is escaping. She didn't think he would call her so soon. She was having fun playing with her toys. She tells her dogs to catch the Elector Steel. Meanwhile, our boy is getting chased by some dogs. He shoots one with his gun. Our boy says that of course she was using zombie dogs. She wears down her opponent's strength with those things, and then devours them slowly. But this is something our boy is familiar with. He says that he knows her fighting style. He notices that there weren't many of them here, which means that the rest probably went after Philip. He doesn't care about Philip. What he cares about is Valpurgis. He rushes off saying that he needs to hurry. At the same time, Philip, Valpurgis, and some of their men were getting chased by the zombie dogs. Philip notices that his mana control was off. Pezimut definitely did something to him earlier, and that is a dirty trick. When a zombie dog appears in front of him, he can't do anything except freeze. Valpurgis saves the day, slicing the dog. She tells him that this area was unexplored territory, so humans rarely come here. They have to be extremely careful. Suddenly, one of his subordinates cry out for help as she is getting chewed on by the dogs. When Valpurgis is about to help her, Philip yells at her, saying that they should just leave her behind. Bro Philip is a complete fraud. I thought he would be strong. Valpurgis is stunned because it was the duty of nobles to protect. She curses herself. If she listened to what our boy said back then, she could have handled this situation. This was all their faults for ignoring him. A moments later, a lasso appears around Valpurgis's neck. It was Hexax. When she yells out to Philip, she sees that he had no intention of helping her at all. She sees his fading figure as she is dragged off from her horse, thinking that they were screwed from the start, with Elector like him. But Hexax disagrees. You needed to be that strong to become an Elector, calling Valpurgis her sister. Valpurgis tells her to take back what she just said. The title of Prince Elector is a critical position that holds the power to choose the Emperor of the Empire. Each one of them is basically a sovereign in their own Prince Electorate. Hexax tells her men to keep tracking down Philip, remembering that Valpurgis also had Prince Elector blood in her. Hearing this, she loses it, calling Hexax a little brat as she closes in on her. But Hexax easily dodges, counterattacking. Hexax tells Valpurgis that her screams were so amazing that she wants to keep tormenting her. Valpurgis eventually falls to the ground, tears dropping down her face. She thinks about Jaewu. She's sure he would find a way to survive this situation, but for her, it was the end. Hexax, with an insane expression, tells her that she will keep tormenting her, but suddenly, she hears a gunshot. She turns around and sees that one of her zombie dogs have been shot. She couldn't comprehend what just happened in time, and our boy was already behind her, striking the actual hell out of her, sending her flying. Seeing Jaewoo, Valpurgis can't believe it. She says that he was truly a hero as she loses consciousness. Jaewoo holds her in his arms. Meanwhile, Hexax says that he killed a zombie dog and even slipped behind her without noticing. He definitely wasn't an ordinary guy. With a gun in his hand, our boy says that Hexax was the same as ever. Hexax asks if they met before, but Jaewoo just points the gun at her, telling her that her face disgusts him. In response, she tells him that a gun has farther range than her whips, but he better aim well, since her whips are way faster than loading bullets. Jaewoo swiftly fires a shot, Hexax barely dodging. She throws her whips, catching our boy. She then pulls him, headbutts him, and whips him away. She tells him that it wasn't over yet, whipping, but our boy manages to dodge. He pivots his step, trying to close the distance. Seeing this, Hexax says that this was useless, but Jaewoo dodges every strike she throws. There was no way. Even when compared to the whole unit, her whip skills were top-notch. Yet he dodged all of that and closed the gap? But she says that it's not like she's going to just let him shoot. But Jaewoo was behind her again. With a dagger in his hand, he says surprise. Moments later, he wipes off the blood from his dagger. He asks her how his dagger tastes, revealing to her that at his core, he was a burst DPS style. She was so focused on his gun that she lost an eye. She needed time to recover urgently. She grows wings, telling Jaewoo that she was busy and had to go. But Jaewoo can tell that she was just scared. She tells him that taunting her won't work, she just doesn't do close-range fights. But our boy tells her that today he was a long-range DPS. She scoffs, saying that she could easily dodge those bullets even mid-air. But just then, her vision gets blurry, and a bullet goes straight through her side. It was just as Jaewoo thought. Shooting bats with a gun was hella satisfying. She falls to the ground, still alive. He says that this pervert was really a pain. Licking the blood off his dagger, he wonders what kind of loot she will drop. She suddenly thinks our boy likes femboys trying to seduce him, but we not into femboys over here. A loud scream is heard throughout the forest. A few notifications appear, saying that he has defeated Hexax, an executive of the Demon King's faction. She dropped her cloak, whip, a magic binding rope, body enhancement potion, poison of the Venom Dragon Ferguma, Venom Dragon Ferguma's antidote, and 2,000 florins. It seemed like he collected all the loot. He's glad he didn't sell this earlier. He has to move before it's too late. With the perfect healing potion, he will definitely save her. It completely restores the target's physical condition. There's a warning that he should apply directly to the affected area, but by applying directly, he would have to under her armor. He tries to calm down, saying that this was just a medical procedure. There was no way he was going to be a pervert. But this dude, way too excited. We then see a flashback. His real name was Han Jae-woo. His father passed away from an illness when Jae-woo was young, and his mother collapsed from overworking. At the age of 18, he was left all alone. At the age of 22, Jae-woo has a fixer, beating up dudes who didn't pay rent. The contractor hands him a pouch of money for helping him. Jae-woo tells him that he should pay off his debt first if he's got money like this. The contractor tells our boy that this week's quest should earn him around 10 million won. Our boy can't believe he can earn that much just by playing a game. Asking what kind of game it was, the dude tells him that the game was called Guardian of Humanity, explaining that it's an enormous open world with absolute freedom, along with stunning female character designs. It has over 1 billion users, and top-ranked players earn tens of millions easily. The quest he was doing today is also similar. Hearing how much this dude makes from this game, Jae-woo wonders if he should give it a shot. Moments later, he logs into the game, saying that technology these days are insane. This feels just like the real world. The streets and people look so real. Was he really inside a game? He then sees a vendor selling apples, and notices that it seems so realistic that you could even see his pores. He touches the vendor without noticing. The vendor tells him to scram if he has no money. Seeing the screen in front of him, he sees that the currency used here must be florins, and he currently has 10 florins. He thinks that he better save it. He then notices a starving boy and his mother staring at the apples. He asks the vendor how much an apple costs, and gives him 1 florin, as he hands the apple to the kid. The mother of the kid bows and thanks our boy. It seemed like 1 florin is worth a whole day's meal. Seeing the kid and the mother, it brought back memories. Back when he used to live with his mom, he used to constantly beg for fried chicken. He smiles, thinking that this game was charming. After that, he started logging into Guardian of Humanity every now and then. When reality got overwhelming, playing the game helped him relax. Then he started logging in more often. He relieved real-world stress. Through the game, he recharged, then lived his real life, only to get tired again and return to the game. Eventually, he spent about 5 years in the game. We see someone calling out to Jae-woo. She introduces herself as Valpurgis, She heard that he was skilled. She asks if he's down to hunt the rampaging boars in the Havel forest. Jae-woo of course accepts. Moments later, Valpurgis is amazed Jae-woo took down a boar with just one strike. He was so strong she didn't even have a chance to step in. She asks if he would like to form a party with her, but he just thinks it's another contract to make him do all the work like today. She thinks he's funny and says that she'll recommend him as a knight of the empire. People are shouting our boy's name. Valpurgis is impressed. Who would have thought he would make it this far? Referring to him as Elector Steel, he says that if she hadn't spoken to him that day, he wouldn't have been here. She says that he saved all these people here and brought peace. These were his loyal citizens. Absolute cinema. Back to the present, Valpurgis tells Jae-woo that he's amazing. She hasn't seen anyone with that much dedication. When she asks him why he does it, he says that it was because he loved this world. She just laughs. He realized how beautiful the sky here was, other than the pain on his face. She tells him that he shouldn't have taken off her armor then. Anyway, she tells him that they will arrive at the Valpurga convent soon. She says that when they return, she will definitely repay his kindness. She owes her more than she could express with words. My twin is thinking about different ways she could repay him. Well, anyway, even if the reward might not be from her, the convent will reward him in full. Now at the Valpurga convent, Valpurgis tells Angela that Sir Valor was an honored guest of their convent, but she says that it can't be helped. Their convent was under emergency lockdown. Therefore, Valstrid Valor may not enter. We are now at an inn near Rheinfelden, where Jae-woo is lying down, saying that this was a mess. He was planning to demand the Heart of the Angel from the convent. The Heart of the Angel is an artifact passed down for hundreds of years in the Valpurga convent, a sacred S-rank item brimming with the blessing of a goddess that has the ability to call back the user's soul. In short, it's like having one more life. He thinks that it was a bummer. That item is a must-have, especially for that moment. Meanwhile, Valpurgis walks into the room, apologizing for having him stay in such a shabby place despite being their honored guest. She then tells him that she has something important to talk about. He must keep it a secret. Struggling to speak, she tells him that the High Abbess has fallen to darkness. But our boy tells her that he just met Abbess Angela a little while ago. She asks what he is talking about. That was Deputy Abbess. The current High Abbess was Lady Margareta. She says that there must be a traitor, saying that it must be the doing of Pessimut. But all our boy is thinking about is how Margareta was the High Abbess. How was she still alive? He thought she died long ago and didn't pay any attention since. She's unparalleled in martial strength in imperial history, and can even casually subdue low-ranking demon kings. She's the icon for strength. She's also the very person who turned the Valpurga convent into a military force. He absolutely has to save her. He stands up, asking if the High Abbess really got struck by darkness. Then he tells Valpurgis that they have to go right away. At the Valpurga convent, a person asks if he really knows about darkness. Another person confirms this, saying that Valor is trustworthy. She should trust him once. She was talking to Deputy Abbess Angela. Of course, Valpurgis was saying this. Angela tells her that she told this man quite a lot of information. She slams the table, angrily telling her that this incident was caused by a traitor. And now she's telling her to trust an outsider? She tells Valpurgis that this man isn't worth listening to, and to escort him out immediately. Jae-woo calls Valpurgis's name, smiling. He tells Angela that he heard the High Abbess was in critical condition, which she responds by saying that it was no business for an outsider. He tells her to hear him out, revealing to her that he's read the Seven Demons Gospel. Hearing this, she is stunned. How the hell does he know about that? It's the very book written directly by Saint Antonio. Our boys say that. That book contains every detail about darkness. It has a full account of the 7 demon kings, who are sealed and erased from the world, including thrashing death, one of the great forces of darkness. She truly can't believe this. She slams the table, demanding how he knew about that book. Just speaking of its name brings a curse, which makes it difficult to talk about. With a sly grin, he tells that she should trust him. He understood how to oppose the darkness in great detail. She hesitantly agrees. However, he must take this secret to the grave. If he speaks about this to others, she will bury him at the bottom of a river. Moments later, Jae-woo and Valpurgis was walking with the convent. But what was with this convent? Abbess Angela destroyed that desk with pure grip strength, and the people here smell like sweat. He has never seen Margareta before, but he bets she's a ogre who smells like shit. Valpurgis puts her hand on his shoulder, asking if he was okay. Our boy tells her he was fine, and asks if that type of physique was her goal. She tells him that she wanted to, but her uncle doesn't approve, so she's holding back. Shortly after, they say that they have arrived. Angela tells Jaewoo that, as he can see, the demonic energy is overwhelming, cautioning him that if he's not careful, he will lose his mind. And she tells all her subordinates to stay here. She was going to open it. As soon as she opens the door, Jaewoo could feel the overwhelming amount of demonic energy, as he receives a notification saying that he has received mental damage from the darkness. Jaewoo asks Valpurgis if she was okay, in which she says that she was because she had the goddess blessing, but worries for our boy. Another notification shows that Jaewoo's mind was protected from the darkness. He tells her that he was somehow fine. That's when Angela tells Jaewoo that this was the High Abbess. Our boy is shocked. Was this person the one with the most overwhelming strength in history? The High Abbess of the Valpurga convent, Margareta? Our boy quickly asks Angela if this little girl was kidnapped. She tells our boy to please take this seriously. They've already tried various methods, but none of them worked. He was their last resort. She grips him up with her massive biceps, telling him that they will pay any price if he can save the High Abbess. Well, first off, he asks if she could let him down, since he couldn't breathe. Jaewoo admits that after seeing her in person, she really does look critically ill. As a priestess, the rate at which she's being consumed is double that of a normal person. The black veins reaching her neck are proof, but he tells her not to worry, there was still a way. Angela suddenly then picks him up again, begging him to tell Tur immediately. What the heck was wrong with this meathead? He locks in, telling her that the method was simple. He tells her to use the convent's holy relic on the High Abbess. She stares at the High Abbess, asking if by treasure he means the heart of the angel. She says that she roughly understands the situation. The curse of darkness attached to the High Abbess. He's planning to transfer it to another person and have them absorb it instead. But she says that divine power and curses are opposites. During the transfer, the High Abbess's death would be unavoidable, thus the need for the heart of the angel. Our boy tells her that she was right. The curse is fatal to all clerics, so no one from the convent could perform this method, but here he was. In other words, he's the most qualified person to transfer the curse. Angela takes a moment, but apologizes to our boy, telling him that that method was not permitted. There was a message from High Abbess Margareta. She said, "This is my darkness. No one else shall sacrifice themselves in my place. If anyone does, I will overturn the whole empire. And besides, this curse is of darkness. Its cause and symptoms are unknown. An incomprehensible curse. Does he really think he would survive that?" She tells him that this curse will torment him for the rest of his life. Valpurgis tells our boy that she was right, saying that there was no reason for him to sacrifice himself. He tells Valpurgis that he was fine. He then turns to Angela, telling her that he was the best option. He's read the Seven Demons Gospel. He knows darkness well, and he's not a cleric, so he's not vulnerable to it. He was just an outsider she met today. He tells her to admit that she was at least a little bit tempted. She groans a heavy sigh, saying that when the High Abbess wakes up, she will be in trouble, telling our boy to do as he wishes. The heart of the angel revives the user's soul once. Sure, he should save it for later, but this was the perfect opportunity to make Margareta his ally. Valpurgis is against this idea and tells him to stop this, but Angela tells her that they should just watch. At the same time, Aura says that he was ready. He will begin with the ritual, placing his on Margaret's head. He starts speaking an unknown language as the curse begins to transfer to him. A sudden darkness appears and a realm was inside it. Jaewoo is sucked into this realm. He wonders if this was the realm of darkness. It was completely black. Just then, something says that he was the one who crouches in the grave, who dares to summon him. Jaewoo shouts that he was Valorstid Valor, demanding it to lift the curse on Margareta. The voice calls him a pathetic mortal. He's unable to even perceive his form, asking if he lost his mind. So it yells at our boy to get out of his sight. A notification says that Jaewoo's soul was protected. The thing is confused on why he couldn't extract Jaewoo's soul. Our boy demands again to lift the curse and Margareta and transfer it to him, but the things tells him that if he doesn't say who he is, he will extract the souls of everyone who's ever been in the same space as him. Resorting to hostages, he was playing dirty, but that just means he has to play dirtier. Jaewoo yells that he's read the Seven Demons Gospel, which shocks the thing. He tells the thing that he traded his dog for it, from thrashing death himself, saying that he's probably selling for cheap to other sages right now. Jaewoo warns that if he keeps dragging this out, even the color of his underwear will be exposed. This finally makes it crack, and it agrees to our boy's request. But he tells our boy that there was one condition. Suddenly a quest appears in front of Jaewoo. Kill all the Demon Kings back by thrashing death. The 5th, 7th, 14th, and 17th rank Demon Kings. This was good. He was taking the bait. He decides to provoke him even more, telling him that this was a bit much for a weakling like him to handle. The Things calls him a pathetic worm and tells him to take it if he can. The power of darkness. Our boy yells that this wasn't a part of the deal. Was he trying to kill him? The Thing tells him that nothing in this world comes for free, telling him to endure it. But he can't. He yells at the Thing to wait for him to return. We then see notifications. Title Cold-Blooded One acquired. His stats will increase drastically. His HP and MP increase. New stat. Darkness was unlocked. S-rank skill, Undead Summon acquired. He has died. Before long, Jae-woo jumps out of bed. Was he still alive? It looked like it. He can't contain his excitement, laughing like he's the Joker, saying that he was now the king of necromancy, who commands legions of liches, undead and even death dragons, the cold-blooded one. He says that from all 1 billion players of Guardian of Humanity, he was number 1. With a creepy grin, he says that the world was finally recognizing him, but that's when Valpurgis suddenly walks in at the same time. She cries, asking if he hit his head or something. She tells him that after the ritual, he lost consciousness, so she brought him to her home. He thanks her. She tells him not to do something that reckless again. She's shaking, asking if he has any idea how worried she was. He doesn't know what to say. He grabs her hand, telling her that he won't do anything like that again. She smiles. There's a quietness in the room, but is quickly interrupted. He asks if a war broke out. Valpurgis tells him that it was something else. Outside, Jae-woo asks Angela what happened. So he was awake, seeing the destruction. He asks if Pesamut came by and chopped some trees or something. There's a loud crash behind him. The person says that he was finally awake, saying that she's been lying down for so long, so she wanted to stretch a little, referring to our boy as her savior, saying that it was nice to meet him. She introduces herself as the High Abbess of the Valpurga Convent. She throws down a whole tree to the ground. It was Margareta. She says that he can just call her Mari. We then see our boy and Mari walking down some stairs. Our boy is thinking that at this point, Philip must have already made it out of the deep forest, and he's finally obtained the highest rank in the necromancer system, the cold-blooded one. With this power, he was planning to secretly kill Philip, but since that guy is a guardian and all, without the heart of the angel, the odds of him being able to are low. He can't let his guard down till the very end. Angela tells Margareta to have some decency. She tells Angela that all she do is nag, ever since she got old. Our boy asks Valpurgis if Mari has always been this over the top. Valpurgis tells him that she's always been like this. He whispers that he can't believe a child like her was the youngest and the strongest of the convent's military force. She teases them, saying that they looked like a couple. Before long, Margareta says that they have reached Valpurga's underground storage. She tells Jae-woo that this place is filled with magic tools unimaginable to the convent. It was perfect for a cursed one like him. He thanks her. She tells him not to worry, since she would go on a date with him. But someone warns Margareta not to cross the line. She tells them to hurry and go in. As the door opens, our boy says that everything is going smoothly. He will speed things up here, and then the hunt for Philip will begin. Following this, Jae-woo asks his horse what he thought about his new gear. Cursed one, S rank. It negates lesser curses below the equipment's rank. Equipment skill, Shadow Explosion. He also had a magic dagger of Monster Karka, A rank. It boosts undead skills for user. Someone asks Jae-woo if he was leaving already. It was Valpurgis. She asks if they could go on one last walk together. Walking, she tells our boy that even though they just recently met, it felt like they've known each other forever. She wonders if it was because he's done so much for her. Back during the battle with the orc troops, and the final showdown with Hexax, she says he was amazing and reliable. Jae-woo tells her that her help was invaluable, and Valpurgis thanks him for saying that. They were both blushing. That's when she asks why he wasn't curious. Jae-woo asks about what. She tells him not to play dumb. She was talking about her face under the helmet. Flustered, he says that he thought she must have had a reason, so he never asked. She tells him that underneath the helmet lies a large scar. It was a mark of a curse. She says that even she doesn't know what this curse is. Her uncle desperately tried to hide it, saying people must never find out about it. Because of it, people called her the Ugly Knight. It was a nickname given by those who know nothing of her circumstances. She asks if he will look at her face. She begins to take off her helmet, saying that if it's him, he'll see him for who she truly is. With her helmet off, she asks if she was ugly. Covering herself with her helmet, our boy has no words. She tells him to say something. He tells her that she was beautiful. He can't believe Valpurgis just took off her helmet. He's seen Valpurgis every run through, but never like this. Valpurgis then remembers that she wanted to give him something. She tells him that it was a treasure from the House of Bayern, passed down by her uncle. Jae-woo asks why she's giving something so valuable to him. She tells him that it was a token to symbolize that she will always be with him. He tells her that he will treasure it. They then begin to just spout nonsense to each other, Jae-woo telling her to go ahead, while Valpurgis insists that he goes first. Horse is just annoyed by this flirting. Hidden story. The bloodline of the Prince-Electors of Bayern has now been unlocked. Valpurgis's romance route has been unlocked. Before long, Jae-woo thinks that at this rate, him and Valpurgis will get married, unlocking the romance route with her and all. But that thought is quickly disturbed by a lingering smell. There were dozens of corpses on the ground. He says that judging by the state of the battlefield, Philip and Pesamut must have fought fiercely. It looked like they were in no condition to continue. He pulls out his dagger, saying that he'll have to search the area. A notification of a new skill from his dagger unlocks. He says that this was interesting. He activates the skill, chanting that his followers bathed in blood, become his limbs, summon vampire. He tells his summons that their first mission is to search the entire area and track Philip. He points toward one of them and tells her to gather all the scattered military uniforms. They will come in handy. At a town, Philip and some of his men were here. He can't believe that he, the Steel Elector, has been reduced to this mess. It was all because of Pezimut. The men tell him that there was an emergency, but he just takes his food and eats it. Meanwhile, our boy is yelling for Prince Philip to come out, saying that he was the Valorstad Valor he met earlier. Hearing this, he says he remembers him, but one of his men tell him that it was dangerous. They should observe the situation first. Philip strikes them, telling them to shut up. While the Valorstad Valor came to rescue him, all they did was follow him around. They were pathetic worms not even worth stepping on. He tells them that they will all be demoted to subordinates of that mercenary when this was over. The door gets broken down, as Philip tells our boy that he was here. Our boy tells him that he fought and searched the deep forest to reach him. Philip thanks him for bringing such reliable reinforcements, saying that he's the only one he can count on. He will make sure he is rewarded. But Jaewoo says that won't be necessary. His summons suddenly attack Philip's men. He says that he doesn't need him anymore. Seeing this, Philip prepares to attack, saying that a pup doesn't know how to fear the tiger. It turned out he was raising a mutt all along. Jaewoo says that he was a mutt. He'll just bite someone named Philip like a mutt. Losing his cool, he uses Lunar Shadow Sword Art first form, Crescent Slash, cutting the summons, as expected. Grunts couldn't handle him alone. He knows that fighting like this will only waste his mana. He tells his summons to fall back. Philip asks if seeing his little minions die right before him stings, but our boy says that he's not like him, saying that his heart is as vast as an endless plain. Jaewoo dodges the strike. Our boy takes off a piece of wood, throwing the wood at Philip's strike. As they continue to clash, our boy notes that this was the Elector steel. Facing the sword style he used and cherished stings quite a bit. Although it may appear elegant and beautiful, its reverse side holds a deadly counter waiting to strike. The master of counters, Elector steel. Philip asks if he thinks he can turn his back on him and still live peacefully in Pulse. Jaewoo says that he was quite close with the nuns. It seemed like he had powerful connections, but he says he doesn't fear military religious groups like them one bit. He stomps his foot on the ground, Lunar Shadow Sword Art second form, falling, but something interrupts him, a dagger already in front of his sword. Philip was shaking. It was all the internal injuries he suffered. Jaewoo kicks him in the stomach, saying that the ones he should be afraid of isn't the nuns, it's him. Holding his stomach, he says that if only his body were in better shape, someone like him was nothing. He asks why the hell he was trying to kill him anyway. He actually appreciated his talent and bestowed many blessings to him. Jaewoo is irked that this bastard doesn't understand what he did wrong and offers to explain why. First, he completely ignored his orders and he was betrayed for it. Second, he mercilessly discarded Valpurgis, who worked so hard for him. Third, he asks him how many people he thinks died because of him, and he dares call himself an elector. But Philip begs him to think about it. All he's ever done was for the people. If he dies, who will feed the remaining citizens? His absence will be a golden opportunity for the other electors. They will attack Pulse the moment he is gone. Jaewoo says that he does have a point, so he gives him one last chance. He tells him that this was a complete healing potion. If he accepts his offer, he will give it to him. Philip quickly says that he will do anything. Just tell him what to do. He tells him to get on his knees and beg Valpurgis for forgiveness. He wants him to really grovel. Philip is shocked that she was still alive. He agrees. And in addition, he says that he will also donate 10,000 florins to House Bayern. It was a deal then. Our boy tells him that he will give him the whole bottle for that. And Philip swiftly drinks the potion, but instantly drops it. Jaewoo asks him if it tastes good, revealing that it was the poison of the venom dragon Ferguma. Philip was already seeing the effects of it. Our boy says this was a poison even Demon Kings falls to, saying that Hexax had it in storage. As a last-ditch effort, Philip tries to strike our boy. A shadow dashes past Jaewoo and slices off Philip's arm. Being cut in an instant, Philip screams in agony. He recognizes that man. It was Piffenheim. How was he still alive? He thought the zombie dogs killed him? It was the dude from before I called a girl. Sorry, dude. He says that he did indeed die that day, but Valorstad Valor granted him a second life, saying that now he serves him, not Philip. He tells Philip that his arrogance has always endangered those around him. It was now time to pay the price with his life. Philip sees his reflection on Piffenheim's blade. A warning appears, asking if he will allow Piffenheim to kill the Guardian. Killing the Guardian may disrupt game progression. Game progression may be compromised? Because of this bum? They can't be serious. But our boy can't be bothered, and orders Piffenheim to finish him. He finishes Philip off, and errors begin to appear. The Guardian has been eliminated. A hidden scenario, Kill the Guardians, has been unlocked. If all Tay Guardians are killed, he will obtain the class Transcendent. The game difficulty was now increasing. Jaewoo smirks, saying that he bets she didn't expect this move. He was talking to someone, obviously Aquila. She can't believe he really broke a seal. Looking at his expression, he was full of confidence. She wants to see him rampage some more, saying that this was only the beginning. Our boy gets a bunch of notifications. He obtains a skill Lunar Shadow Sword Art, S rank, Princessen Coralla skill, A rank, Empire Agitation skill, SS rank, Mephistopheles' acting skill, SS rank, and Dignity of the Great Leader skill, also SS rank. As he expected, someone at the level of Elector had amazing rewards, 3 SS rank skills, 1 S rank, and 1 A rank. And on top of that, he also got 2 S rank class exclusive skills as a level up reward. But he wonders if this was the only drop. It just looks like a normal magic zipper. When he tries to open it, he gets stopped by a barrier. He says that he'll just ask Margareta to unlock it later. But on his screen, he sees that he obtained the essence of the Guardian. Collecting 5 will allow him to ascend into a transcendent being. However, every time a Guardian is killed, the seal that protects the world from darkness weakens. A transcendent being? The world's seal? So in other words, it means to be careful when hunting them. Will he become a transcendent and end up alone? Will he stay with the other Guardians? Or will he find a different path altogether? At the same time, Piffenheim tells our boy that he has found it, just as he told him. They examined the remnants left by Philip's men and they found it. This was amazing. He says that this must be the main reward of this quest. The shine alone is on another level. Jae-woo tells him that he did good and asks if he finished the side job he gave him. He says he did. As instructed, they dressed one of Philip's men in the clothes of the Pessimut faction, and he disguised him perfectly as a demon. Meanwhile, a man is on the floor begging for them to spare his life. Jae-woo asks who this guy was. Piffenheim tells him that it was one of Philip's men who was hiding, and asks what they should do with him. Our boy thinks about it for a second before coming up with an idea. The dude is still begging for his life. Jae-woo gives a creepy smile, saying that he hopes Pessimut likes his gift. Before long, we see an army of people. It was led by the Royal Guard captain under the direct command of Roland. He sees something and tells his men to stop. One of his men refer to him as Sir Lawrence, saying that it seemed like there was a battle here with Pessimut's forces. Another of his men tell Lawrence that they found a survivor. He tells his men to take care of him since they will question him later. Before long, Lawrence wants to confirm if that item was stolen. The surviving man says that it was true. After that, they were surrounded by the Pessimut forces, and in desperation to save Prince Philip. So what he's saying is that while his comrades were dying, he hid alone? He nervously says yes. Lawrence slams his sword in frustration, thinking that if only he was a little faster. He suddenly praises the man. He risked his life to protect his superior. He is a model knight. He then tells his troops to listen up, telling them that this man here risked his life to protect his commander. Though they lost the battle, the spirit of knighthood remains unbroken. They should all follow this man's example and search for Prince Philip. We were now at Roserant Rose Palace. In this beautiful place, Law referred to this person as his lord. He tells her that as ordered, they pursued the Pessimut forces and found traces of Philip, but he already escaped, and his whereabouts are unknown. She understands and asks about the item. She was sure Prince Philip was the one holding it. Lawrence tells her that the Pessimut bastards took it. She says that the Pessimut name is getting awfully tiresome. She says that it was fine. Right now, that item is more important. It's the only way to restore Prince Philip to the seat of Elector. Lawrence fists the ground, saying that Prince Philip was, but is interrupted mid-sentence. She tells him that the prince isn't someone who would die so easily. She tells Lawrence to go to Pessimut and deliver a message. Tell them to hand that item over, or it won't be fun. This is Roland, Rose's Demon King. With that, we were now at Pessimut's base. Pessimut asks him to repeat himself. That crazy woman has been resurrected? His subordinate confirms that this was true. It was impossible. There was no way that monster was back. His trap was perfect. His subordinate tells him that she was still a human, but Pessimut says that he doesn't get it. He still hasn't forgotten. That woman barged into Off's domain by herself, slaughtered all his subordinates and cut off his head. He asks his subordinate if he knows what caused this massacre. He says the one of Off's men stepped on her snack. Ever since then, the Demon Kings have referred to her as Margareta, the Storm and Annihilation. Just then, one of his men tell Pessimut that a message has arrived from the Demon King Roelin. Bruh, what the heck was up now? But the subordinate isn't sure himself. This wasn't the best time. Just what type of tantrum was she going to throw now? Reading the message, he says that she was crazy, saying why the hell she thinks he has that item. He's in utter rage. Why was she asking him for that thing? Subordinate also wonders why Roland would think they have that thing. They didn't even come close. In fact, they lost Hexax while chasing Philip. He says that this was suspicious, Margareta's resurrection, and the sudden disappearance of that item. Everything has the end result, but the cause remains unknown. A sudden thought comes across his mind. Could there be a mastermind behind this? Jaewoo sneezes, wondering if someone was talking about him. Piffenheims asks our boy what he will do with Philip's corpse. Of course, he says that he will use him as an undead summon later, but besides that, this was more important. This was the Golden Imperial Edict. It's a document stamped with the Empire's golden seal. It serves as proof of an elector's authority. Having both Philip's corpse and the Imperial Golden Edict was basically like hitting the jackpot. The two celebrate as Jaewoo tells Piffenheims that they now ruled the entire world. Following this, a man refers to the other as the Merchant Guild leader, praising him for another day of earning a lot of money. They say that they should get piss drunk once they get back, but that thought is short-lived, because an arrow pierces the Merchant Guild leader. The attacks reveals themselves, as the men grab their weapons, ready to attack. The group clash swords. One of the attackers tell the man that this must be what they traded with Roland for. It was definitely a lot of money. The man asks the man if he is crazy. Did he even know where this money was going to? He's not trying to hear it, and strikes the man, causing him to slam into a tree. His men were all down. The attacker tells the man that if has a problem with anything, he should go cry to Valpurgis, and while he's at it, he should bring his uncle too. At the same time, our boy is getting rizzy. Valpurgis dabs a cotton swab on his face, asking where he got hurt this badly from. Margareta suddenly barges into the room, interrupting the two. Margareta couldn't believe it, yelling that Valpurgis just took off her helmet. Drinking a glass of water, she tells Valpurgis that she almost gave her a heart attack, but she gets it. That feeling of not wanting to hide her true self. It was just how a woman's heart was. She tells Jaewoo to take good care of Valpurgis, saying that if he makes her cry a single tear, she'll break his dick. With that being said, she remembers that our boy told her that Philip was dead. It was true. He tells her that his corpse was now with his subordinates. Oops, he meant his friends. She can't believe that Philip was really dead. She was the one who wanted to finish that bastard off. Our boy thinks that it was better that Philip died to his hands and not hers. Our boy then tells Margareta that he had a present for her, saying that this was what he gathered from the remnants of Philip's gang. With this, she could buy an infinite supply of snacks. Hearing infinite snacks, she starts drooling, asking if our boy was some kind of saint. At the same time, Valpurgis notices bundles of paper and asks our boy what it was. Jaewoo said that it looked like letters. Letters exchanged between Philip and Roland. It seemed like Roland was trying to make Philip emperor. This made sense since the current emperor's relationship with Roland is bad because of tax issues. Margareta notes that it was just like the current economic blockade order. When Jaewoo asks what that was, she's surprised he doesn't know. She tells him that the emperor was currently seizing goods from all merchant guilds tied to Roland. Because of that, the night houses nearby are going absolutely berserk, saying that that's why House Ritter attacks the Ignis Merchant Guild. And thanks to that, Valpurgis was going through so much mental stress. She remembers that she wasn't supposed to say that. When Jaewoo asks what was going on, Margareta couldn't speak, but Valpurgis tells him that she will explain it herself. After explaining everything, our boy says that this has become a crazy mess. He couldn't believe that the Emperor's economic blockade would escalate into a big clash with the Elector of Bayern. Our boy is shocked awake when Valpurgis calls out to him in front of the door. Entering the room, she asks Jaewoo if he could forget everything he heard today. It originally had nothing to do with him after all, but our boy says that he can't do that. If it was something involving Valpurgis, he wanted to help. She thanks him but says that this situation has grown too big, telling him that if she receives help from him on this matter too, she will feel guilty. Jaewoo knows that Valpurgis is reliable, but she still lacks experience and her heart is still too soft. He tells her that this matter is too big for a mercenary like him, but still, he wants to help. He tells her that mercenaries can still be useful in their own way. Valpurgis laughs, saying how he could be making jokes even in a tim like this. And besides, he was confident. Before long, our boy is walking through a hall, speeding up towards a door, and yelling out for Margareta. She was nomming on her infinite supply of snacks. Our boy pulls out the magic zipper that had countless gold coins inside of it, and asks Margareta if she wasn't curious, telling her that if she opens it now, the reward doubles. Before long, Margareta was showering in gold. Our boy asks her what these gloves she gave him was. She tells him that they were an upgraded version of the magic zipper she just opened. With the flick of his palm, he could summon items. We cut to Jaewoo, saying that he's never seen anything like this before, wondering if they sneaked in an update or something. The quality of life updates were awesome, but that is shortly lived when his horse suddenly stops. He points towards something ahead of them. A sign read that this was the great city of Pleasant. Before long, he says that he finally made it in. It felt like he is at Disneyland, waiting 3 hours for a single ride. Our boy is jump scared by a man yelling, "Welcome to the city of the Great One." Our boy is surprised. This place was just like how he remembered it. He explains that Pleasant is a city where many different races live together. The great one they're referring to is Demon King Kubalt. He says that Kubalt played a major role in unifying cultures through his vast knowledge and charisma. He's also considered the leading pro-human demon king after Roland. And lastly, he was also an important figure who will help with a certain case. He has to meet him no matter what. A moment later, a goblin says that our boy had remarkable aura. Our boy asks if he knows him, but the goblin just says that his aura was too strong to ignore. Jae-woo wonders if the remarkable aura this goblin was talking about was because of this skill, Dignity of the Great Leader, SS rank. It reads that this skill increases charisma and divine presence as its proficiency grows. He thinks that this skill could be useful in the future. He also tells the goblin that he was here to see Kubalt. As expected, he was meeting someone remarkable. He says that he actually has business with him as well, telling our boy that he will guide him there. Jae-woo thinks that it was odd that this goblin just referred to Kubalt as him. In the Kubalt castle, we were now at the reception hall. Tae Goblin tells Jae-woo to wait here, as the tea will be served to him shortly. A sudden notification catches our boy off guard, reading that the proficiency of the skill, Dignity of the Great Leader, has increased. But he was confused. If it got leveled up to level 1 just now, how did that goblin recognize him? But it was whatever. That wasn't important right now. He scans the room, saying that he was still a narcissist. Artwork modeled after himself was crazy. The goblin then appears out of nowhere, saying that the tea has arrived. Jae-woo begs for him to announce himself next time, and asks what brings him here anyway. The goblin says that he's here to register his marriage with him, saying that their relationship was so loving, he said him again. Everyone else calls Kubalt the Great One, but this guy alone refers to him as him. He decides to test him, saying that the ring he has on must be the wedding ring then. He hesitates for a second, before telling our boy that it was. He poured 10 years of his salary into it. Jae-woo wonders though. He tells Kubalt that his acting was impressive. The goblin is flustered and asks what he means. Jae-woo tells him that that ring is the ruby ring that Kubalt treasures, and saying that he seemed remarkable when he was unknown was suspicious too. And above all, one doesn't call themselves the Great One, and it was just as the information said. His instincts were sharp. He says that he was right, referring to our boy as Valorstad Valor, introducing himself as the ruler of Pluzin, Demon King Kubalt. He guesses that our boy probably came to see him regarding the case involving Valpurgis. Jae-woo tells him that he was right. He was hoping he had a clue or useful information. Kubalt replies that he has what he wants to know, but there was one condition. Jae-woo expected this though. Kubalt's obsession with knowledge was obvious. Even in early chapters, he was the infamous pervert who'd pay to know the Emperor's underwear color after all. But our boy knows all the juicy info, from future war metas to real estate speculation. He's extremely confident to answer any of his questions. Kubalt gives him a warm smile, asking Jae-woo to be his friend. But this dumbass stands up and pre-fires that he will answer his question. Kubalt tells him that although he may not know this, he has become the center of attention. From the Hexac subjugation to his relationship with the very strict paladin, he says that if he connected with someone like him, it'd be very profitable. Our boy says that he understands, but asks how he can show that they were friends. He tells him to take this. It was a communication ring, something for them to call each other when they were bored. Jae-woo wonders what the hell this guy was up to. He seemed like the type who'd lecture about someone while smiling and telling them they should have studied harder. But friends? He couldn't read this guy at all. Kubalt then says that as a token of their friendship, he has a piece of information he might want. He tells our boy that the clue is in the capital of the Duchy of Saxon, Dresden. We then cut to the electorate of Saxon's capital, Dresden. In front of a huge door guarded by guards, they ask who he is. But he uses the Dignity of the Great Leader skill. They immediately begin to fear him. He tells them not to block his path. He walks through the place. He uses his skill, scaring the citizens as they bow before him. At the Velia Merchant Guild, a woman barges into the Merchant Guild leader's room and reports that there was an overwhelming presence headed for their guild. He was almost here. She begs for him not to come any closer, as a hand reaches for her. The Merchant Guild sees the man and asks why someone like him was here. Our boy tells him that he was here to make a deal. Flashback to the conversation with Kubalt. He tells our boy that the Velia Merchant Guild and the Ritter Knight family from that place are bound by massive debt. They were in a debtor-creditor relationship. He's shocked by this information. He had no idea about this. As expected of Kubalt, he's the guy who has overwhelmed him in information warfare through countless past encounters. His intelligence network extends across the entire continent. This was Kubalt, the Shadow King. Kubalt says that judging by the look on his face, he was pleased with the information. But he tells our boy that there was one more thing, and we don't see what Kubalt says to him, but we'll see later. Back to the present, a girl lies in a bed. The guild leader tells our boy that this was his daughter, Marin. Although she's lying in bed like this, not long ago she was a bright and healthy child. But then one day, she started wasting away and eventually lost even the strength to lift a spoon. And that's how they ended up here. He tried summoning every renowned doctor across the continent, but they all shook their heads. He says that if this continues, he might lose his daughter forever. He says certain that there has to be some way to save her. He begs our boy to bring back her smile. Jae-woo holds his hands against his face, saying that that's why he came here to make a deal. He can tell by just looking at her that her daughter was in critical condition, significantly reduced muscle mass, a lingering low-grade fever that won't disappear. He tells him that this couldn't be treated with ordinary medicine, but there was still a way to cure this disease. The guild leader begs for him to tell him. Our boy tells him that they needed to go to Grossglockner. They needed the elixir from that place. The guild leader's hand begins to shake. He falls down, saying that it was practically impossible to save her then. Our boy explains to us that this was the kind of place Grossglockner was. A boy tells another boy that if he returns from Grossglockner, he'll grant his wish. In this world, that's just another way of saying it's impossible. It's like O-Block, the dark demonic dragon canyon. Grossglockner, a massive canyon famed for its breathtaking scenery, located in the southeastern part of the empire. It's the territory of the demonic dragon, Schwarze Teufel. Although few ancient dragons remain on the continent, his power is immeasurable. Even demon kings can't easily contend with him, and that canyon which he rules was crawling with countless demon beasts. Simply put, it's a deadly place for both humans and demons. It's a hopeless challenge for the average person. Well, our boy isn't average. He puts his hand on the guild leader's shoulder, telling him not to worry, he will go himself. He activates Mephistopheles' acting. With devilish acting skills, he could deceive his opponent. The nice guild leader tells our boy that he will go instead. Jae-woo tells him that what his daughter needs most right now isn't some elixir, it was the heartfelt love of her father. The guild leader is moved by his words, and asks what he could do to help. Jae-woo tells him that it was simple. He heard the Ritter family owes a massive debt to the Velia Merchant Guild. He asks the guild leader if he could take that debt on himself. The guild leader is shocked, but Jae-woo tries to convince him, saying that for the sake of his one and only daughter. He sees the poor state of his daughter and remembers her lively and happy self. He accepts our boy's request. With that, our boy was now at Grossglockner, saying that this view really was incredible. He grabs a glowing plant, asking his horse if he knows what it is.